What is up, my bold beauty apprentices? So good for you not to see my face. I wish this thing would let me do both at the same time, but it ain't gonna happen. So we're gonna jump right in. I get this question a lot, and there's a ton of things that we're gonna discuss about, and I'll be quick about these to give you some very simple points. But we're gonna go over how meal timing and fat loss correlate. And we're gonna discuss some of the things that people have said, what's true, what's untrue, and all that good stuff. Just so y'all know, since y'all can't see me, this is your fat loss expert, John Mark, hiding away in my lab to give you clarity on this topic of meal timing as it relates to your fat loss. So I'm sure you've heard and maybe even bought into some of the common meal timing sayings. Don't eat right before bed, you'll get fat. You have to eat 5 to 6 meals a day to burn fat. You've got to eat directly after workout to burn fat. And other various boundaries about meal timing. There's a ton of confusion and misinformation around this topic. So today, I'm going to clear this up once and for all for you. But before we dive in, it is my goal to grow this group to 1,000 members by the end of this year, by the end of 20. So I got 6 weeks to do that. So it's going to require 100 new members every week of this remaining year. We did 100. I think we added 100 last week, but I'm going to need your help to make this happen. And if you find any of the content and coaching that I provide to you in this group valuable, then I'd like to ask you a huge favor to invite at least 3 of your friends to this group so that I can impact even more people on a daily basis. I'm on a mission to save the lives of the women in this world. And there are 125 million in the US alone. So give me flames, give me some flame emojis in the comments if you're willing to help women achieve the success they deserve just by simply inviting them to this group. And without further ado, let's get into it. So meal timing and fat loss. Does meal timing equal fat loss for me? Secret number 1. Yes, it does equal fat loss if your goal is to become a physique competitor. Measures to shed fat from the body. Then meal timing is crucial to creating this type of a body fat loss. 99% of the people on the planet are not after this result. So let's talk about secret number 2. Does meal timing equal fat loss? Secret number 2. No. If you're anybody else. Now, disclaimer, this is all based around fat loss in a generally healthy population. I'm not giving this as advice for people that are diabetic or anything of this nature. This is for the general population that's predominantly healthy, that is just trying to lose some body fat, right? Most of my clients got between 10 and 100 pounds to lose. This is for you. Does meal timing equal fat loss? Secret number 3. Here's what actually matters, okay? The things that are the most important as far as your ability to lose fat when it comes to your nutrition. Number 1, calories out and calories in. In terms of meal timing, as it relates to fat loss, nothing else matters more but the amount of calories you're consuming relative to the amount of calories that you are burning. Okay? So let's break that down just a little bit. If you only eat 1 meal per day and it's the correct amount of calories and nutrients for you, you will shed fat. On the other opposite end of the spectrum, if you eat 10 meals a day that contain that same amount of correct calories for you, you'll still shed fat. All right? Our bodies don't look at it in terms of how many meals that you actually eat. Like some people say, you got to eat 5 to 6 meals a day to get that metabolism going. Now, don't get me wrong, your metabolism will increase a little bit because of those extra meals. But it does not matter if you ate 10 meals, but you went over the amount of calories you should have had, you will not burn fat. It doesn't matter if you ate 30 meals, right? Hope that makes sense. Next thing that actually matters in terms of your nutrition as it pertains to fat loss is sustainability. What you can actually do long term and still have the lifestyle / quality of life that you want, right? If you know, if you contemplate doing a ketogenic type diet because Susie lost 10 pounds in a week, but you don't see yourself giving up carbs long term, as in the rest of your life, then that might not be the best option for you. Right? Some people live this as a lifestyle. I've got a couple of clients who live a very low carb lifestyle, but they're good with doing that long term. This is okay for them to do because they're willing to do those things. If you're not willing to give up carbs, a significant amount of them for very long periods of time, something like ketogenic diet isn't for you. And same goes with any type of diet. If it's not something that you can sustainably do long term, then it is not the plan that is going to lead to fat loss for you. The third piece of what actually matters is simplicity. All right, now what I've found in my earlier years of coaching, I was, a greenhorn fresh out of school, and I had all of these, like I knew exactly by the book how to get somebody from point A to point B and how to get the maximum amount of fat loss. Problem was, whenever I handed it to them, it was too complex. It didn't make sense to them. It was not something that they could do longer than a few weeks without giving up. So complex plans with very structured regimens and meal plans, they're nice in theory because it lays it out exactly. And me being type A, that's very helpful for me. But the problem is that they're not very flexible. They are often labor intensive. So people get discouraged and fed up with it after 2 to 4 weeks, and then they go off the rails, right? Then they gain all that weight back that they lost in that 2 to 4 weeks, and then some. Are there benefits to meal timing and content as far as like your nutrients post-workout? This is a big question that I get too. Are there benefits to having that, post-workout shake or whatever nutrients it might be? Yeah, absolutely. There's a 60 to 90 minute window where you can force nutrients into the muscle to help speed muscle recovery. But this is very low on the list on what's important as far as your ability to lose body fat when it comes to meal timing. Can eating a lot of carbs before bed make me gain fat? Sure, it can. Eating a lot of carbs anytime can make you gain fat, right? It doesn't necessarily matter before going to bed as it does what happened the rest of the day. So I hope that clears up some of these things. That the most important things is in terms of your fat loss is calories in, calories out. What can I do long-term, sustainability, and what's going to be simple enough for me to sustain that and be okay with doing it without sacrificing other areas of my life to be able to make that happen. We are going to have to make some sacrifices to get to the goal we want, but it doesn't have to consume our life. And these are the 3 things that I found have gotten my clients the best, fastest results, is focusing on what they're burning versus what they're eating, what's going to be sustainable for each person because it's not cookie cutter, and what's going to be simple enough to achieve that goal. So if you need help getting a clear, simple, effective plan to get that fat loss engine of yours fired up, shoot me a DM, ask me some questions, and we can get crystal clear on your goals and come up with a plan. So I hope that y'all got some value out of that, because I know this is something that a lot of people get confused on, and I wanted to clear the air on that for people in my group to make sure that y'all weren't sabotaging yourselves on some myths that you heard or things that don't really matter that much to you and your goal. So till next time, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.